case makes you wonder how a person could be so evil. Most of the time, murder is a one-on-one situation, resulting from an argument or a heat of the moment. Still foul, still tragic. But when 5 people, babies included, get taken all at once, that's something far worse. That's a massacre, and it's a whole nother level of evil. The Harper family was loved by everyone, making it difficult to find suspects. But no detail, no matter how small, will be overlooked by detectives, leading to one very slick way to catch a killer. This is 50 Ways to Catch a Killer.
Tuesday, July 8th, 2003.
Police department, can I help you?
I need somebody here.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes.
What's going on?
My best friend, she's dead. She lay on the bed.
Okay.
Help me, please help me.
A 911 call comes into Bakersfield Dispatch from a woman named Kelsey Spann, and she is hysterical. She's the close family friend of the Harpers, and she hadn't heard from them in a couple of days. So she decided to stop by the house. Tragically, she discovered 5 bodies.
It was Tuesday morning. One of my supervisors came up and said, hey, this is something I think we need to get on scene and go take a look. I got there at 7:05-ish in the morning. There's multiple bodies, and it's clear that's a scene of violence.
This was the largest amount of bodies I had ever seen at the time. It's not anything I'll ever forget because of the gravity of what happened.
Joni Harper, 39 years old, was found shot to death in bed with her 3 children. Marcus, 4 years old, daughter Lindsay, not even 2, and baby Marshall, only 6 weeks old.
Joni was shot multiple times with a .22 caliber firearm. Each of the children were shot 1 time.
On the floor, there are these 2 green, incredible Hulk hands. And I had just bought one of my children the same toys like 2 weeks earlier. And as a parent looking at that crime scene, it just really made me think, who in the world is killing kids?
In the hallway, Ernestine Harper, 70 years old, the mother of Joni, was dead on the ground with a revolver next to her.
It was ultimately learned that that revolver belonged to Ernestine. It was something that she kept for her personal protection.
Every one of those bullets had the primer struck, which means 6 times the trigger was pulled on this gun, and 6 times every bullet failed. They were very old bullets.
And Ernestine was shot twice. This was Tuesday when I was on the scene, based off the fact that they missed some of their normal routines. We do believe that they were killed Sunday afternoon.
I was in my office teaching a Bible class. My cousin called me and told me that Joni has been shot and killed. And he said, your mother was shot, execution sound, shot in the head twice. And everything on the inside was falling apart.
I felt like I needed to run because I wanted to get away from what I was feeling at the time, which was just immense pain, especially when we found out that the children had been murdered as well.
It didn't sound real. It didn't sound like it's something that would have happened to my family.
Bakersfield is located about 100 miles north of Los Angeles in the Central Valley of California in Kern County. It's the 9th most populous city in California. That said, it still has a small town feel.
In Bakersfield, mass murder is very uncommon. Look at the definition of mass murder, 3 or more people murdered at the same time. So that was a very unusual crime.
When I first heard about this case, I was completely horrified. I couldn't understand how someone could kill 5 members of a family, 3 generations of a family, including 3 young children.
The only family member to survive is Joni's husband, the children's father, Vincent Brothers.
Over that 4th of July weekend, Vincent Brothers was out of town. He was visiting his brother Melvin in Columbus, Ohio. And then he and Melvin drove to Elizabeth City, North Carolina to visit their mother, Margaret.
Joni was a loving sister, very kind-hearted, very tender-hearted as well. Even though she was a great basketball player and great official, her life was with her children, and she adored them.
My Aunt Joni, she was my father's sister, his baby sister, and she became my favorite auntie. She loved to do track. We played all kind of games when we would get together. She always had an open door and always said, if there's anything that you need, anything you want to talk about, you can come to me.
My mother, Ernestine, was a wonderful woman, and there was nothing she wouldn't do for someone. She literally would sacrifice so much to help not just somebody important, but anyone.
Every time I would go to Bakersfield, that's where we would go, to my grandmother, Ernestine Harper's house. And there was always a smell of something cooking in the house, so it was just home, you know.
Joni and Ernestine Harper were very involved in the church. They were well-loved and well-known, and they had a strict routine on Sundays. The whole family would go to church in the morning, they would go to lunch, they would come back to the home and all take naps. The 3 children would sleep in the same room as Joni. Then they would wake up and return to church for later services.
So my focus was going to be Kelsey Spann. She's the one that called 911. Kelsey Spann told us Sunday, July 6th, the family had gone to church that morning, and then they met with Kelsey for lunch at Black Angus restaurant. Kelsey tried to get a hold of the family for the next 2 days. Nobody answering the phone, no response, which is extremely unusual. Tuesday morning, still no phone call. So that's why Kelsey decided she's gonna stop by the house that morning just to check their welfare.
In the wake of Kelsey Spann's horrific discovery, detectives start conducting interviews to determine who might have targeted the Harper family.
The crime scene was in really good hands. I needed to start gleaning information from people, and then the first person was gonna be Vincent Brothers, because he's the husband.
He's thousands of miles away visiting his brother, and detectives need to go and talk to him and find out who could have done this to his family.
We jumped on a flight from Los Angeles to North Carolina, and that Wednesday morning, I met with Vincent Brothers.
I'm Jeff Watt from the Bakersfield Police Department. It's my partner, John Kruger.
Bakersfield police wanted to inform him that his wife and his 3 children were murdered.
Vincent, help me, Mama! I want to go home!
Vincent Brothers is sobbing uncontrollably, asking for his mama.
Mama! Mama! Vincent.
There's a lot of things going through my mind as a father, not even as a cop, just as a father. I mean, the man's family was just murdered.
I'm confused. You're confused.
That's it. There's a trash can for you.
Throughout the interview, Vincent Brothers seems too traumatized to provide any leads. Returning to Bakersfield, Detective Watts rejoins the search for suspects with a motive for murder.
We knew that Ernestine Harper was a social activist. She would look in the community for potential injustices, and if she found them, would try to support that person.
Ernestine Harper did work with some dangerous people, some of them gang members, so police wanted to look into that to see if there was a connection there.
We wanted to look at sex registrants that are living in the area, people that are constant burglars, people on parole. If we have a serial killer starting a spree and this is his first case, you just never know, and you have to consider all that stuff. But there was no other potential suspects identified.
Was this a burglary gone bad? Was it a robbery that somebody actually tried to force entry?
Initially, it appeared like it could be a burglary. The house was in a bit of disarray, but when they looked a little further, nothing of value was taken. There were credit cards. There was a TV set.
I found U.S. currency in plain sight, not taken. There's a firearm that one of the victims tried to use. It also wasn't taken.
And so you start to consider a crime scene staging had taken effect, that somebody's trying to make this look different than it actually is.
There were no broken windows or broken doors. Someone knew their routine and had a way of getting in that house. 5 members of the Harper family were shot to death, but Joni was stabbed 5 times post-mortem. That's personal. And of course, when there's a murder, police look at the spouse.
Vincent Brothers was a vice principal of a elementary school. He was liked very much so at the school. They thought that he was a very good person and did well in his profession.
But as detectives started looking more into Vincent Brothers and his background, they determined that he had a dark side.
I had several interviews with Kelsey Spann, and she was fearful of him. And that was also a common theme amongst a lot of people we spoke with.
Years before the murders, before the 3 children were born, Vincent Brothers actually spent 6 days in jail for misdemeanor spousal abuse because the mother of his first child, Margaret, said that he did abuse her. The relationship of Vincent and Joni was pretty rocky. It was a roller coaster. They first had Marcus, then they got married in 2000. They got divorced in 2001 due to Vincent's infidelity. Then they came back together and they secretly remarried in Las Vegas.
Joni had married Vincent for the second time in January of 2003. Now, the crime occurred in July 2003. So they've been only married 7 months. And we learned he has, and I'm not exaggerating, girlfriend after girlfriend.
Vincent had 4 kids, and to divorce Joni would mean paying child support for the 3 kids that he had with Joni. So that could be a motive.
If he had to pay child support for these 3 Harper children, he would be doing that for about another 18 years. But Vincent Brothers had a pretty solid alibi. He had credit card receipts in Columbus, Ohio, from a Chinese food restaurant, from a Walmart. Police, of course, wanted to verify the alibi that Vincent Brothers gave them.
So I remember the credit card receipt that was delivered to my office as evidence, and it was a Walmart receipt on the day of the murder. It had Vincent Brothers' signature on it.
Because we learned that Vincent Brothers' credit cards are being potentially used on the day we believe the murders happened, on the 6th of July, my partner and I head to Columbus, Ohio, just to check his alibi. We had gone to these 2 stores where the credit cards were used, pulled their surveillance tape. We were reviewing the tapes. Lo and behold, it's not Vincent Brothers using those credit cards. It's his brother, Melvin Brothers.
Melvin eventually admitted to using the credit cards and signing Vincent's name. He also said that Vincent told him when to go to Walmart and exactly what items to buy. Melvin Brothers admitted that while he saw his brother Vincent in Columbus, Ohio, from July 4th through July 7th, Melvin didn't know where his brother was. This is a crucial piece of information because this is when the murders happened, on July 6th.
Between the credit card revelation and his mysterious whereabouts at the time of the murders, Vincent Brothers becomes the investigation's prime suspect.
We determined that Vincent Brothers did not take a commercial air flight back to California during the middle of his stay in Ohio. Then it came down to, well, what are the other alternatives? We thought, maybe he drove.
Could he have done this? Could he really have drove from this time in Ohio to Bakersfield to commit this murder and then back to Columbus, Ohio? It's a lot of driving.
We thought, we know he had a rental car. Let's seize that rental car and just take a look at mileage, when that rental car came in service. We were fortunate that there was only 3 other renters that had that car. And what we found out was there was 5,400 miles approximately that only Vincent Brothers could have put on that car.
At this point, detectives have Vincent's alibi, admitting that he disappeared the weekend of the murders. What they don't have is solid evidence. And without that, Vincent's plan is working, and he's about to walk free. If they want to take him down, they need to think outside the box.
It seemed pretty impossible for Vincent Brothers or anyone to be able to drive from Columbus, Ohio to Bakersfield, 2,300 miles, kill 5 people, get back in the car and travel another 2,300 miles back to Columbus, Ohio without being noticed. But it was possible.
We needed more than just mileage to show that he drove this car intentionally to California.
Police needed to figure out how to place Vincent Brothers in Bakersfield during that 4th of July weekend when the murders occurred.
With any investigation, when you're not getting the results right away, you start to get frustrated.
Usually once a day, you will have meetings with other homicide detectives or supervisors, and we'll discuss what else do we have that we're not thinking about.
Then somebody throws out, why don't we check for bugs? That was something I never heard of. As anybody knows, if you drive a car, it attracts bugs. If you drive a car at night, it attracts even more bugs. And so this rental car had bugs all over it.
Nobody that I know of requested an entomologist look at bugs and say, hey, can you tell us where the distribution of those bugs lay within the United States?
Could you take fragments of bugs and could you pinpoint where a vehicle might have traveled?
University of California, Davis has one of the largest entomology collection of bugs, catalogs, that I know of. And I spoke with Dr. Lynn Kimsey. And I told her, I said, hey, I'm wondering if we package up this radiator and other pieces of the intake from this car, would you look to see if there's any bugs you can identify?
It was a stroke of genius.
Dr. Kimsey painstakingly went through this radiator and other pieces of the intake, airflow that you normally would come in contact while driving. She said, look, we've actually found some bugs that we can identify specifically on this radiator. And it turned out that you would only find these bugs west of the Rocky Mountains. So that was a big deal because now we not only had 5,400 miles on this car, we could also say this car has now been to California where the murders occurred.
Afterwards, detectives talked to people, talked to the community, and they discovered that several people saw Vincent in Bakersfield around the time of the murder.
There was an eyewitness, someone who lived next to the Harper home, who said he saw Vincent Brothers, who he knew, on that patio that 4th of July weekend.
Detectives had already determined that Vincent Brothers had motive to kill his family. And despite his cunning attempt to fabricate an alibi, they'd now proven he also had opportunity.
As a result of additional information through this ongoing investigation, we developed probable cause to arrest Mr. Brothers.
On April 30th, 2004, Vincent Brothers was arrested in Bakersfield and charged with 5 counts of murder.
Based on what we had, we believe Vincent Brothers was looking to be free, unburdened of a wife, of a mother-in-law he could not tolerate, and 3 children that were nothing but innocent, but he looked at them as financial burdens if that whole family wasn't wiped out.
Vincent knew the routine. I believe he chose Sunday because this was a time where you can get them all together at one time to commit the murders. I believe that he was hiding in the house when the family comes home from church. He's waiting for them to take their nap, and this is when he starts his rampage.
His biggest threat was Joni. Joni Harper's in great shape. I mean, she ran up and down courts as a basketball official. She had stamina. So Joni would be the first person to have been attacked.
Hearing gunshots in the house would have woken Ernestine up from her nap. And I think Vincent and Ernestine meet head to head in the hallway. He's surprised when he's confronted with a gun to his face.
Unfortunately, because it was an old revolver, it malfunctioned and it didn't actually shoot anybody.
and Vincent Brothers fires off 2 rounds as quickly as he can, both striking Ernestine in the face in very close proximity to each other. At this point, I think he went back into that bedroom, and this is when he killed the kids.
When they found Marcus, they said that in his hand, he'd been, I guess he was so scared that he bit through his hand. And to do a child like that, your own child like that, you have to be a demented person. I almost have no words.
This little boy, seeing his brother and sister and his mom and grandma all killed, and knowing that his father was doing it, I can't imagine.
What Vincent does next is he starts to stage his crime scene. He pulls the TV over, knocks it down on the ground. He takes the purse that contains Joni's identification and car keys, and he dumps it on the ground to really make this look like a robbery gone bad.
This is a very calculating, evil person. At that point, all he had to do was drive back to Ohio without getting stopped by the police or getting a citation, which he was successful in doing. And he already had his brother covering for him on credit cards that day, so he thinks he has an alibi.
This case was the biggest criminal trial in Bakersfield in decades. It affected the community so greatly, largely because these people were very well known in the community and 3 young children were involved.
I had no doubt that he thought he was smarter than everybody in the room. I think he thought we were all beneath him, that even the jury wouldn't be able to figure it out.
On May 15th, 2007, Vincent Brothers was found guilty of 5 counts of first-degree murder.
We, the jury and panel to try the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Vincent Edward Brothers, guilty of felony to wit, murder of Ernestine Harper, guilty of murder of Joni Harper, guilty of murder of Marcus Harper, guilty of murder of Lindsay Harper, guilty of murder of Marshall Harper.
Vincent was given the death penalty, so he is serving his sentence in San Quentin here in California, and I believe he's right where he belongs.
I think death would be a gift for him. I think he should spend the rest of his life in jail thinking about what he did and the lives that he took and suffer with that for the rest of his life.
I'll never forget when I went to college and I cried and I told my mother, "Mother, take care of Joni," because I knew I wouldn't be there to take care of her. And sometimes I think about that. I think about that even now, that I wasn't there to take care of her.
I'll never forget the Harper family. I'll never forget Marshall and Marcus and Lindsay and Joni and Ernestine. I never knew them, but I'll never forget them.
Sometimes I'm the only voice for somebody that's been murdered. In this case, I was the voice for 5 people. Not only me and I would venture to say, the entire investigation division of the Bakersfield Police Department all contributed so much.
The fact that someone had the creativity to even think of looking at bugs in a radiator of a car, that kind of blew my mind, because I was like, who would even think of doing something like that?
That's what you have to do in law enforcement. In forensic examinations, you have to think, is there a different way to do things?
Vincent Brothers killed his whole family. This guy was convinced he outsmarted everyone. Mama! But detectives found a bug in his plan. A lot of bugs, actually. The details small enough to overlook, but big enough to catch a killer.